Hey everybody, and welcome to the Master Level Marriage Podcast, where we discuss all things marriage and where you can discover the tools that you need to have a strong and healthy relationship. Our host, author, and marriage coach, Dr. Ronnie Gaines, will unpack many facets of a marital relationship as he dives into the dynamics of a marriage. In each episode, you will learn what it takes to succeed in your relationship and win in your marriage. Whether you are in the planning stages or have been married for several years, our desire is to help you grow and enrich your life as a couple and become a success story. Subscribe or follow us and be notified of each episode. Please leave us a review and help us help other couples. For more information, visit www.masterlevelmarriage.com. Thanks for checking us out. Now here's your host, Dr. Ronnie Gaines.
Hey, welcome to the Master Level Marriage Podcast. I'm your host, Ronnie Gaines, and I'm so glad that you are with me on this show today. It's going to be a good show as I talk to you today about how to maximize your marriage. I want to say this while I'm talking about this very topic is this is one of the chapters in my book, BFF, Becoming Your Spouse's Best Friend Again. I'd like to offer that to you. You can get that if you just go down in the notes and click on our website. You can order it through the website, and I can ship it out to you at no shipping, and I think you'll enjoy it. There's many things on this podcast that we talk about that's in that book, and it's full of a lot of stories. It's very conversational. I think you'll enjoy it. So just click on the link below, and you can go get that. I just want to say thank you, and I'm so grateful for you out there who are downloading the shows. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of it. I've had some people come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm listening to your show and enjoying each episode and staying up with it. Can't wait until the next one comes out." So thank you so much. I'm glad you're with me. I don't want to be on here by myself, so thank you for being a part of this show with me. And today, I want to talk to you about this idea of maximizing your marriage. You know, I read this story about, I know you've heard of this company called Gillette. I'm sure that each one of you have heard that. They make all kinds of things, razors and so many different things. In 1975 through 1991, they went through a time when they were attacked by several companies and even attacked by an investment board. And the attacks were trying to get them to completely go out of business. They were a threat to different companies. But this particular threat that came from one of the investment boards, they were going to try to sell the company. And through this sale of the company, they were going to make millions and millions of dollars. Even some of the shareholders would come out tremendously wealthy. But there was one particular guy, and his name was Coleman Mockler, and he was a leader in this company, but he had a different thing in mind. He wasn't in the company just to maximize his own wealth. He was in the company to help others maximize their life. And so he bucked the system. The story told that he was a short little guy, just a small guy, very quiet in a room, but very powerful. And he bucked the system. He came against the attacks. He came against the giants. And he put his foot down and he turned the company around. And by turning this company around, he made millions of dollars for some of the investors and was not just out looking for himself. He was out to maximize and help maximize the whole and not just himself or just a few shareholders. See, he was about maximizing the whole company and maximizing people's lives. And when it comes to your marriage, it's about what we do together to help maximize the marriage. It's not about just my needs or my wife's needs. It's not about just one of us. It's about both of us. It's about us working together, maximizing the relationship. I heard this quote by Tony Curl that stated this: start maximizing what you have instead of worrying about what you don't have. You know, I remember the Garden of Eden story in the Bible where Adam and Eve, they were in the garden, and God had told them that they could have everything they wanted in that garden except for one thing. And this one thing they could not touch. It was off limits. But everything else would maximize their relationship. And guess what they did? They focused on the one thing they could not have, and it became disastrous to their relationship with God. And sometimes we focus on the things that we cannot have, and we bypass and we miss the things that we do have. So start maximizing what you have and stop worrying about what you don't have. And the first thing that I want you to see in this episode, in this show today, to maximize your relationship is to revere your marriage. Revere one another. Back to that scenario in the garden when God created the first man and the first woman, Adam and Eve. It was a holy union. God created the man, and then he created the woman from the man. And it was a holy and union between the two. And we need to revere our relationship because it is a holy relationship. It's something that was created. It's very important. I've seen couples that would come into my office for marriage coaching, and they were so mean to each other. Even when you're in conflict, you can still revere your marriage. Think about this. That person is your ally. They're the person that has your back. They're the person that you said you loved, that you would vow your life to. It's important. It's very holy. It's very important that we revere each other, that we look at each other as a part of our whole, that they're an addition to our life. You know, we can go all the way back to one of the episodes at the beginning of this podcast about the soulmate. You know, the soulmate being a myth that you are whole within yourself. The Bible even says that you are whole, that you don't need anyone to fill you or complete you, that you're complete within yourself, but your spouse adds to your life. They're an addition. They're the ones that their strengths will help you in your weaknesses, and your strengths will help them in their weakness. Normally people are total opposites when they go into a relationship. I know there's exceptions to the rule, but most people are opposites. And when you go into this relationship as opposites, the opposites attract because we desire for the person to give us something that we're not able to do ourselves. They add to our life. And so it becomes something to revere, that they're special. It's important. This is a different relationship than just a relationship with your buddy. This is a different relationship than just some girls that you hang out with, some ladies that you hang out with. This is a different relationship. This is a close bond. This is an intimate, emotional, close bond. And I believe that if you want to maximize your relationship, you look at this relationship differently. You revere. You reverence the vows. You reverence who you are together. The second thing that I want you to see is that if we want to maximize our marriage, is that we let each other influence the other. That we let our spouse influence us. One of the things that I see sometimes when couples come in, I'll watch as they come into conflict in the room with me. But one of the things that I really look for is I see how they influence each other. I watch their reactions when one says something. And many times they'll roll their eyes or make a sigh or flail their arms. And they don't want the other one influencing them. I know sometimes they're in conflict, and so it's very difficult to think about your spouse influencing you at that moment. But even when I don't see couples in my office, I see them out in public and I'm talking, I see one of them say something, I see one of them say something, the other one seems like they're smarter than they are, and they won't allow the other one to influence them. I've found this, that when we allow our spouse to influence us, it makes us better. Again, we're complete without anyone, but we have an addition to our life where they can be such an influence. I know some of the times that if I would have listened to my wife a little bit better, I wouldn't have made some of the stupid mistakes that I've made. But we really do need to let our spouse influence us. What they say matters. I met a couple here several years ago, and in my office, he really talked down on her. And she understood that she wasn't quite as intelligent as he was when it came to book intelligence and things like that. She's a sweet lady. But he would not let her influence him. He was always putting her down in something, the way he said things and some of the ways that he would just put her down because of her lack of intelligent words that she didn't use. And he demeaned her. And, they'd been living like that for several years. And one of the things that we talked about was watch what you say. Watch how you talk down. Watch what you say to that person, and let them influence you. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. It's good that we have another voice, and why not let that voice be the voice of our spouse, the one that we love, the one that we vowed to. Let them influence you. You don't have to know everything, and you don't know everything. Ask for their advice. Ask for their opinion. And sometimes ask for their opinion when they don't want to give it to you, or whenever they don't think about giving it to you. Before they give it to you, ask them for their opinion and let them influence you. Revere your marriage is one thing. But to carry it a little bit further and say, I'm going to let my spouse influence me, takes it to a whole new level. That even sometimes whenever I might know the right answer, why not ask and get your spouse to put in some kind of advice or some kind of knowledge that they have, and let them influence you. Well, the final thing in this particular show, I think, is probably one of the biggest things that I see in couples, that is a discrepancy. And if you want to maximize your marriage, I believe this to be huge. And that is that we need to be present. We live in a culture where there's so many things that are distracting. Now, we have cell phones, we have the TV, we have computers, we have other people, we have sports, we have all these different things that are going on in our life, and they're bombarding us. There's so much competition in our life, and we're never present where we are. If we're at work, we wish we were at home. If we were at home, we wish we were doing the lawn. If we're sitting in our recliners, we wish we were doing the lawn. If we were doing the lawn, we wish we were out fishing. If we were at church, we wish we would stayed home. And then if we went out and did something on a Sunday, we wish we were at church. So we're never present. So it's time to be present for the moment. If you want to maximize your marriage, be present everywhere you are. Be present with your kids. Be present with each other. If you're watching TV, watch the movie. If you're on the phone texting someone, text. And as soon as you're done, then be present in the room with something else or someone else. And when you go out for a date night, be present for the moment. Put your phones up. Be present. If you're in church, be in church. Don't be somewhere else. Don't be on your phone doing something else. But be present for the moment. You'll find out that when you're present at the moment, it'll change your entire life. So don't let distractions get in your way, but be present in the moment. I hope these 3 things have been helpful in this podcast today. To revere your marriage, just maximize your marriage, to revere it, to let your spouse influence you, and to be present. So take this today, practice each one of these, think about each one of them, and begin to apply these to your life and apply these into your relationship. And I promise you'll find that you'll maximize your marriage. Again, thank you for being on this podcast with me today. Thanks for being on this show. Again, go down and click in the notes and leave a comment, leave some suggestion of maybe a future show. Let us know that you're listening. And again, I'll say thank you to all those that have downloaded and listened to the show. I appreciate it so much, and I'm so grateful for you. And I always want to leave you with this: be your best self, live out your full potential, and experience your best marriage. I'll see you on the next show.